My hat! This is a chassis for my Yokomo BD10. I picked up a second one from my buddy Gary. You can follow him at racing_heart_RC. So he's got some pretty cool videos if you follow him on Instagram. He gave me a friend price on this one, so I'm really happy, and you know, thanks go out to him. So please do follow him on Instagram. But I need to cut the chassis. So this chassis here didn't have this hole here, and you need the hole there so that pebbles don't get stuck and destroy your spur, and then over here as well. Now, on my carbon chassis, I made some plates just to show how to reinforce the chassis, and then I ran it on the pavement, and then some pebbles actually got kicked up, stuck in there between the pulley and the chassis. So I'm actually going to mill this out, even though, I mean, if you're racing on carpet, that wouldn't be a problem because you're probably not going to have any pebbles. Then again, you would probably be using the aluminum chassis instead of this one. But this one here, this is not a Yokomo brand chassis. As you can see, it looks like it's RCM, but it'll work. It's carbon fiber, looks very nice. So I'm going to be using this milling end bit right here. So it cuts when you plunge, and then you can also go side to side, and that's what I use just to cut that hole here in the middle. And that's what I'm going to open up these holes with. So I'm going to be using my Dremel. You can use any rotary tool. I like this Dremel 4000. It's very good. There is a battery powered one. I just don't want to deal with charging batteries or having 20 billion batteries when I'm doing this type of job. I'd rather just have a cord and not worry about it. But here goes. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to get it close. I'm just going to plunge it in, and then I'm just going to follow the contour and cut this whole thing out. And then we'll see how it comes out. Now, I'm just over 15 here. That's the speed that I'm using. So this thing goes pretty hard. All right, so I'm just gonna clean it up. I did a quick pass, and then I'm just gonna clean up the edges. Again, the speed that I'm using, it's just over 15. This goes from here to 5, all the way to 35. But that's the speed that I'm using. So carbon fiber, go fast. If it were metal, I'd probably be milling slower. Well, if it's a harder mill. But anyway, this is carbon fiber, so I'm going somewhat fast. Guess it could go faster, but that is it. So here, let me keep going, and I'll end up milling the entire thing here in the video. All right, so so you can see that's pretty clean. I'm gonna have to clean this side a little bit more. So I'm gonna do one more pass, but this side is really clean. That's why I did that extra pass. So after this is done, I'm gonna clean everything, and then I'm just gonna apply some CA glue. I'm not gonna do that in this video, but I will be applying some CA glue just to keep the carbon from splitting. And that's it. See, so that's pretty clean now. So after that, like I said, this side's just gonna get cleaned, and then I'm gonna apply some CA glue. I'm actually gonna apply CA glue on all the edges. It just helps keep the carbon fiber. So that hole's already made. Now I need to mill this out. So this is the last one. So again, I'm just gonna set it, and it doesn't matter where you set it in the middle, just plunge down and then follow it. This one here in the center, that one I had to make from scratch, so I just kind of drew it on there. Actually, my friend had already kind of marked it, and then I just made it a little more visible, but it worked out, and that's good enough. But these here, luckily, because that part is milled, it's really easy to follow because it's thin. So you don't have to apply much pressure out to the edge. You just kind of follow it, and that's how you're gonna get that nice little line. And this isn't a diamond or anything. This is just a regular one. Carbon fiber is actually pretty soft. It's very resistant, very strong, but it's soft to cut. So something like this works. Just remember that it's better to remove too little material than to remove too much material. If you remove too little material, then you can just give it another pass. This looks good. So that's pretty clean. So this is gonna get some CA glue, and that's pretty much it for the milling. All right, so I decided to add this to the video. So here I have my CA glue. Now this CA glue is by AKA. I also like using JConcepts. They were out of JConcepts, so this one's pretty good too. But I mean, you can use any CA type derivative. If you have super glue, crazy glue, that'll work as well. But the main point is to get some of the glue. Let's see if I can get this on the camera. Hopefully my cameraman can get it. Just a light coat. See, just like that. But you have to be somewhat quick so that you don't smear way too much glue, because you don't want it to be messy. So now I just put some glue there. I'm waiting for it to sort of run down. And I think I'm gonna have enough. Maybe, maybe not. And that's it. So that's one part. Don't really want it to run somewhere else. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. So I'm just going to put some glue here. There we go. I'm gonna turn it. And this really helps preserve your carbon fiber chassis. This is something you do not have to worry on aluminum chassis, but carbon fiber, they will splinter over time, some little impacts here and there. So this is just something, it's preventative. All right, so some of the glue has already run. Let's go there, perfect. All right, so now I've done that, I've done this. I'm gonna do this over here, and I am touching it here, but it's not, I don't really have that much grease on my hands, and CA glue's not really gonna care much. All right. All right, let me go other side. I'll flip it. The main thing I don't want is I don't want the glue to run here on this finished surface. It just doesn't look good. That's the only reason why. And you can go later on, just use an X-Acto knife, for example, or a box cutter, some type of blade, and then cut it off, but it doesn't look as good and neat. This is why I'm just applying these quick little drops and then spinning it, rotating this. All right, so at this point, now I'm going to go ahead and just cover the entirety of the chassis. So here it goes. All right, so I'm just letting it run. Just gonna use the tip to help it. All right, here we go. A little bit there. Trying not to apply too much. If I don't see much glue running, then I'll apply some more. And then from time to time, just kind of put the cap on it so your glue doesn't dry out, as it will dry out. All right. All right, here we go. Perfect, and now I'm gonna flip it. And I will be doing an inspection afterwards just to make sure that I covered these points. I think I accidentally smeared some on the face. I'm gonna blame the fact that I'm trying to do this for the camera. Oops. Here we go. I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on this because my cameraman happens to be my wife, so I don't want her to find out. All right, perfect, there we go. Now, I do like putting some glue. I'm going to put some glue here. This is where the motor goes. This side over here, it looks like there was a weight or something, so I'm going to clean that later. But in this portion here, that's not necessary. Sometimes I will do just a little quick dab like this. And the reason why I do this is because, I'll show you in a bit, I have cracked chassis right along there. That difference. So that's the reason why I do apply the glue here. You don't have to, but I do. And that's all you need. I mean, those little spots, not really that important. So there is some there, it's just not as thick. But like I said, the motor goes there, so it's not that crucial. I will be later cleaning this up, and then I'll be applying some glue there. A weight's gonna go in there, more than likely, because I think I'm gonna have to add weight to meet weight for the requirement. But that is it. So on the chassis, just use some CA glue or any derivative, such as the AKA JConcepts. Whatever you can find at your hobby shop, or super glue, crazy glue, anything like that, and that will help you reinforce your chassis. Well, it'll help it from splintering. But other than that, thank you so much.